Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless. This is the quiz show where the questions have been asked to 100 people before the show, and all our contestants have to do is come up with the answers those 100 people couldn't think of. Let's meet today's players. Now, first up, we welcome back Sophie and Jess. You were on the show last time. Everyone gets 2 chances to reach the Pointless final. This is your second and final chance. Sophie, remind us how you know each other.
We go to university together and we live in the same halls.
Jess, what happened last time?
So the question was Stock, Aikman and Waterman singles, so that was a little bit before our time, and we joined the 200 Club.
They were really hard. They were really, really hard, actually. Anyway, that was last time. This time, back you come. Returning couples always tend to do well. How are you going to get through to the final, Jess? What's going to be good for you?
Hoping some sports questions today. Maybe some, well, there's not going to be a question about netball, but maybe some football questions would be quite good.
OK. Sophie, how about you?
I work in Italian restaurants, so maybe something on food and preferably maybe something on television and not geography or history.
Not geography or history?
No.
OK, very good. Well, welcome back to the show. Very, very best of luck to you. Next, we welcome Lucy and Nell. Now, how do you two know each other, Lucy?
We've known each other for about 8 years. We work together. We don't work together now, but we've stayed really close. We've got quite similar interests.
And what work did you do together, Nell?
We worked for the Arts Council.
Right.
And I was assistant theatre officer.
Very. Whereabouts was that?
In Birmingham.
Excellent. What sort of things do you like to get up to in your spare time, Nell?
I go to the theatre.
Very good indeed. Lucy, how about you? What are your interests?
I do quite a lot of baking in my spare time. So friends and family quite often ask me to sort of make celebration cakes for them.
Excellent. Very popular. And well, we are looking forward to it.
Yeah, I haven't turned up with a cake today, I'm afraid.
Of course.
I hear that goes down quite well.
They always say, oh, no, I haven't got one today, and then before you know it, head-to-head starts, and they go, here's the surprise cake I made you. Can't wait.
Looking forward to that so much. Well, very, very best of luck to you, Lucy and Nell.
Thank you.
Particularly looking forward to the bit before the head-to-head. Now then, Gemma and James. Next, we welcome you back. You were also on the show last time. What happened, Gemma?
My fault. First person to go, words ending in B-A-L-L.
Yeah, but ball, though. That was a good direction to take it in.
I know, but I should have thought outside of that, really. Never mind.
Ah, well, there we are. Now, today, James.
Yeah.
What do you hope is going to come up?
Quite fancy politics, quite fancy a bit of film as well. A bit of music, quite keen on my music, so any sort of thing like that, just not geography or food.
Not geography or
I can do those, I've got
food.
those covered.
Okay. You're an English teacher, Gemma?
Yes.
So you're obviously hoping English comes up in some form,
Something
literature?
like, yeah, it would be very embarrassing if it was, you know, a reasonably well-known piece of literature came up and I wasn't able to do well.
Or you went out on a words round or something like that.
Imagine.
Well, Gemma and James, it was round 1 last time. Let's hope we see more of you this time. Very, very best of luck to the pair of you. And finally, we welcome Steve and Chris. Now, how do you two know each other?
Well, we met at university in my first year, well, first week, pretty much.
Yeah.
I got cast in a play by Chris.
I put on a play.
What was the play, Chris?
It was a Canadian play called Wreck House, and I didn't really know. hadn't really read it, but we.
You were directing it?
I was co-directing it.
OK. And be honest, was it well co-directed?
I mean, there's stuff I would have done differently, but I mean...
Yeah.
No, it was good.
Where are you from, Chris?
We've come up from Canterbury today, but I'm originally from sort of Wales area, obscure Welsh village.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
What's the name of your village?
Llanfairllwythafnog.
Yes.
Obscure Welsh villages would be
That's
a good
fantastic.
category.
Good, OK. Well, there we are. And what do you do down in Canterbury, Steve?
Well, me and Chris actually work together as 2 of Canterbury's resident medieval jesters. Which is pretty exciting. For the there's a medieval visitors attraction, and we go out onto the streets and regale all the passing tourists with our alluring gesturing ways.
And where is it you do this?
Canterbury.
So avoid Canterbury.
OK, well, welcome to the show, Steve and Chris. Very, very best of luck to you. We'll find out more about all of you throughout the show as it goes along. There's only one person left for me to introduce. He clearly did a lot of reading during his time in prison. It's my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. How are you? You well?
I'm very well, thank you.
We've got 2 returning pairs today, but neither of those pairs has been in a head-to-head, so it could be a very open field today, I suspect. 2 good new pairs as well. Seems like quite a bright lineup.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I'd say.
It's hard to work out who's going to get knocked out very early. I mean, one of the pairs will. We know that. But, you know, I wouldn't like to put money on who it is.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, all our questions on Pointless have been put to 100 people before the show. In order to get through to our final round and be in with a chance of winning our jackpot, our contestants need to find the obscure answers our 100 people didn't get. So the fewer of the 100 people who knew the answer, the fewer points you will all score. Now, what everyone's trying to do, of course, is to find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave. And each time that happens, we will add 250 quid to the jackpot. Nobody won the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £14,250. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. OK, in this first round, each of you must give me one answer and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever pair has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated, so try and make sure that's not you. OK, our first category today is countries. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and our question concerns countries and their international borders. Richard.
Yes, in a moment, Xander's going to show you a list of 6 countries. We need you to tell us any other countries that border one of those 6 countries, please. So any country of the world that shares a land border with any of the 6 countries you're about to see. As always, by country, we mean a sovereign state that's a member of the UN in its own right.
Right, Sophie and Jessica, you all drew lots before the show today. You are going to go first. So let me show you the list of 6 countries. Reads like this. We've got Argentina, Greece, South Africa, Spain, Thailand and the USA. I'll read those one last time. Argentina, Greece, South Africa, Spain, Thailand and the USA. We are looking for countries which share a land border with any of these 6 countries. These 6 countries will remain on the board the whole way through the round. Now then, Sophie.
I'm going to have to go with, I'm guessing it, Italy next to Spain.
Italy. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Italy. Oh, bad luck, Sophie. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer, which scores you the maximum of 100
I'm not surprised
points.
at all.
Richard.
Sorry, Sophie. If someone tells you they're working at passport control between Spain and Italy, they're lying to you.
OK.
Now then, Lucy.
My brother-in-law comes from South Africa, so if this is wrong, I'm going to be in trouble, but I think Botswana has got a border with South Africa.
Botswana. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said Botswana. Absolutely right. Eight. Very well done, Lucy.
That's a terrific answer, Lucy. Well done. Nearly 2,000 kilometres of border between those 2.
Now then, James.
Hi. I'm going to go for Spain bordering France.
France. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said France. Absolutely right. 57.
Again, quite a surprisingly low score, I would say, France and Spain. And the border runs through the Pyrenees.
Now then, Chris. So we're looking for any country that shares a land border with one of these 6 countries.
I think I'm going to go for obscure, just because I think that's why I'm here. I think Andorra borders Spain.
Andorra, says Chris. Andorra. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said it. Absolutely right. 16. 16 for Andorra.
Well done, Chris, and admirable way to play the game as well. Yeah, it lies in between France and Spain.
OK, well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at the scores as they stand. 8, very much the best score of that pass, Lucy. Then up to 16, where we find Chris and Steve. Up to 57, where we find James and Gemma. And then up to 100, where we find Sophie and Jess. Now, whatever happens in the next pass, Jess, you are definitely going to have to give a very low-scoring answer if you're going to make it into the next round. Very, very best of luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, so we are looking for countries that border these 6 countries. Steve, you're on 16. The high scorers are Jess and Sophie on 100. If you can score 83 or less, you're through to the next round.
OK. I think I'm going to play fairly safe, actually. No, actually, I'll be a bit risky. I think I'm hoping that Argentina has a border with Ecuador.
Ecuador, says Steve. Ecuador, here comes your red line. If you can get below that red line with Ecuador, you are through to the next round. Best of luck. Ecuador, is it right? How many people said it? Ooh, bad luck, Steve. Bad luck. That's an incorrect answer, I'm afraid, which scores you the maximum of 100 points. That takes your total up to 116. Bit of a lifeline there, Jess.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. I think I might have played that one safe. I think if your partner's taken a risk, you have the luxury of playing it safe.
Certainly. Now then, Gemma. Gemma, the high scorers are now Steve and Chris on 116. You're on 57, which means 58 or less will see you into the next round.
I'm pretty sure I flew over Albania on the way to Greece. So I'm going to say Albania.
Is Albania right? How many people said it, if it is? It is right. And you're through to the next round. Very well done. 11 for Albania takes your total up to 68.
Yeah, well done, Gemma. Already done better than last time. Good work. It lies to the north of Greece.
Now then, Nell, you are through to the next round, whatever happens. Even if you score 100 points, you won't overtake Steve and Chris on 116.
As I'm through anyway, I think Mexico is near to Argentina.
OK, let's see if that's right. If it is, let's see how many people said it. That's right. 60. 60 for Mexico takes your total up to 68.
Yes, you got lucky there as well, Nell, because it doesn't border Argentina, but it does border the United States, so it's an acceptable answer in this round.
Now then, Jess, how good is your geography?
It's OK, but
Can I tell you how good it needs to be?
15 points.
15 or lower. Botswana scored 8 and Albania scored 11. Both of that, things at that kind of level.
Because I know Zimbabwe borders South Africa, but I think that is quite obvious. So I'm going to have to go risky, so I'm going to go Paraguay for Argentina.
There's your red line. If you can get below that red line with Paraguay, you are through to the next round. Let's find out if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Paraguay. It's right. It's right. Is it going to go down lower than 15? Yes, it is. Very well done. 10. Very well done indeed. That takes your total up to 110.
Blimey, very well played, Jess. You wouldn't have predicted that after the first answer, would you? Yeah, it lies just to the north of Argentina, Paraguay. Very, very well done. Let's take a look at the best answers you could have given. Mozambique would have scored you 1, Swaziland would have scored you 2, and Bolivia, which borders Argentina, that would have scored you 4. Other low scorers you could have gone for: Bulgaria 5, former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia would have scored 8, Lesotho, Botswana we've already had, Malaysia, they all scored 8. Should we take a look at the worst answers you could have given, the ones that most of our 100 people said? Mexico, we've already heard, scored 60. Portugal would have scored 65, which obviously borders Spain. And right at the top, the longest land border in the world, Canada and the USA, 72 points.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of our first round, our losing pair with the highest score, it's Steve and Chris. You took a colossal risk there.
I should have just gone for one of the big ones. They would have all been all
They would have all seen you through.
Every single correct answer would have seen you through.
It was pure greed, I think.
Pointless greed.
Pointless
There
greed.
you are. Listen, Steve and Chris, we'll see you again next time, though, and we'll look forward to that very much indeed. Meantime, thank you very much for playing. Steve and Chris. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. So, sadly, at the end of this round, another pair will be leaving us. Our category for round 2 is famous Europeans. Famous Europeans. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, so our question concerns famous Italians. Famous Italians. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 12 descriptions of famous people born in Italy. We need you to tell us who they are, please. We'll accept surnames or the names by which they're most commonly known. Give us an incorrect answer, though, you're going to score 100 points. A nice obscure answer is going to score you the fewest points. 12 in all to have a go at home.
OK, so we're looking for the famous Italians described by these clues, and here they are, our first board. Starred opposite Cary Grant in Houseboat, constructed an electric battery, circa 1800, diminutive Chelsea number 25, 1996 to 2003, one of the original 3 tenors, fashion designer born in Piacenza in 1934, and a jockey, won 7 races in one day at Ascot in 1996. I'll read all of those one last time. Starred opposite Cary Grant in Houseboat, constructed an electric battery, circa 1800, diminutive Chelsea number 25, 1996 to 2003, one of the original 3 tenors, fashion designer born in Piacenza in 1934, and a jockey who won 7 races in one day at Ascot in 1996. There we are. 6 clues to 6 famous Italians. Sophie.
OK, so the only one I probably have a clue would be the fashion designer, and I'm literally going to have to hazard a guess. I'm going to have to say Versace.
Let's see if it's right. Let's see how many people knew that answer. If it is right, Versace. Bad luck, Sophie. I'm afraid that's incorrect. It scores you the maximum of 100 points. I'm sorry. Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Sophie, not Versace. I'll give the correct answer at the end of this pass, just in case the others want to have a go at that.
Lucy.
This is not a good category for me, so I'm going to have to play it safe and hope that this is right. I think the jockey is Frankie Dettori.
Frankie Dettori, says Lucy. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said it. If it is, Frankie Dettori. Absolutely right. 34. 34 for Frankie Dettori.
Well done, Lucy, well played. And he won those races at the combined odds of 25,095 to 1.
Really?
The bookies lost an absolute fortune that day. A fortune.
Wow. Now then, James.
OK, I've got no idea about the fashion designer. The 3 tenors must be Pavarotti, but I would have thought that would be quite high. So I'm going to go for the Chelsea number 25, which is Gianfranco Zola.
Zola, says James. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said Zola. Absolutely right. 19. Very well done, James. 19 for Zola.
Yes, born in Sardinia, Gianfranco Zola. In 2003, they had a vote on the website for Chelsea's greatest ever player, and he won 60% of the vote. They love him over there. OK, let's go through the rest of the board. Now, the fashion designer, Sophie said it was Versace. He was born in 1946. In 1934, it was Giorgio Armani. Would have scored 1 point as well. Would have been a terrific answer. Very well done if you said that at home. One of the original 3 tenors, absolutely right, James. It was Pavarotti, but would have scored you 39 points. He did well to avoid it. Start opposite Cary Grant, Sophia Loren. 14 points that would have scored you. And constructed an electric battery, circa 1800. Do you know that? You'll know it when I say it's Alessandro Volta. Ah. Volta, where we get volts from. 7 points. So Armani, actually the best answer on that board.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at the scores. James and Gemma looking very strong indeed on 19 after James' brilliant answer there with Zola. 34 is where we find Lucy and Nell. And then, once again, back up at 100, Sophie. So, Jess, we rely on you again to find a really low-scoring answer on the next board. And we'll have to hope that's enough to see you through. OK, we're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more clues on the board, and here they come. We have got... Directed the 1960 film La Dolce Vita, Italy's longest-serving post-war PM, the chef who won the 2009 I'm a Celebrity, wrote Accidental Death of an Anarchist, painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, and composed the opera La Bohème. I'll read those all one last time. Directed the 1960 film La Dolce Vita, Italy's longest-serving post-war PM, chef who won the 2009 I'm a Celebrity, wrote Accidental Death of an Anarchist, painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, and composed the opera La Bohème. There we are. Now, remember, we are looking for these famous Italians. And obviously, Gemma, you're going to try and find the one you think the fewest of our 100 people knew.
I want to take a punt, but I think he did quite well, so I'm going to play it safe. And I'm just going to say Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo.
Michelangelo says, Gemma, Michelangelo for the Sistine Chapel. Here's your red line. If you get below that red line, you're through to the next round. Is Michelangelo right? And if it is, how many people said it? It's right. And you're through. 34. That takes your total up to 53, Gemma.
Well done, Gemma. I think you got your tactics exactly right as well. Born in Caprese, near Florence.
Now then, Nell. The high scorers on 100 are Jess and Sophie. You're on 34. You want to be scoring 65 or less with your answer.
I hope this is right. I only know two. I think La Boheme is Puccini.
Puccini, says Nell. Puccini, the composer of La Boheme. Let's see if it's right. Let's see how many people said Puccini. It is right. And you're through to the next round. 8 for Puccini. Takes your total up to 42.
Yeah, another good answer, La Boheme. It's the fourth most performed opera in the world of this century. Magic Flute is number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the end, but the flute isn't magic.
It was formed by the coming together of the three elements. Earth, wind and fire, because the flute was formed by lightning that struck a tree, and you provide the wind to blow in it. It's clever.
Not true, though.
Now then, Jess, I have very sad news, I'm afraid. You are the high scorers, even before you've given your answer. Sophie's gone one step too far this time. However, you are the last person to have this board.
Yes.
Talk us through it, if you can.
So I haven't heard of the top film or the book. I know that Gino D'Acampo won I'm a Celebrity, and I only know one PM, and that's Berlusconi. Okay, so I'm going to say Berlusconi and maybe go out on a high. So, Italy's longest-serving post-war PM, Berlusconi.
OK, Berlusconi says, Jess, there's no red line for you as you're already the high scorers. But let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Berlusconi. It's right. $14. It's a great answer. Lovely low score there, Jess. Sadly, it takes your total up to 114, though. Richard?
Yes, born in Milan in 1936. So it's amazing that virtually everyone in Britain could name an Italian politician.
Amazing.
Now, Gemma, you had the right tactics in this round, but you were going to go for a risky one. What would you have gone for?
I thought La Dolce Vita was Fellini.
Yeah, absolutely right. Federico Fellini. And that would have scored you 4 points. Would have been a terrific... Oh, you're through anyway.
I know.
But, and you've had the chance to show off as well. So it's perfect. You've been able to relax for the rest of the round, and now you look clever. Sheffield won 2009. Absolutely right, Jess. It was Gino D'Acampo. Would have scored you 20 points. And I thought, Nell, you might go for Accidental Death of an Anarchist. It's a terrific play. Do you know that one? Sandra, I bet you know it. Dario Fo. Dario Fo. And that's a pointless answer, so very well done to anyone who got that at home.
Splendid. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of round 2, our losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid, finally, Jess and Sophie, you've been beaten. That was a great answer from you, though, Jess. And Sophie, a tricky board.
I knew there were quite a few answers in the second one, which is so annoying. I knew the Dario Fo, so that's really frustrating.
That's really bad. That would have been a fantastic round otherwise. Well, I'm afraid we have to say goodbye to you now, Jess and Sophie. It's been lovely having you on the show. Thank you both so much for playing. Jess and Sophie, great congratulations. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. Congratulations, Lucy and Nell, Gemma and James. You are now only 1 round away from the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £14,250. You're now going to go head-to-head, and the first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. But the big news is you are now allowed to confer. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. OK, here comes your first question, and it concerns female literary characters on film. Female literary characters on film, Richard.
Yes, can you give us the names of any of the 5 characters you're about to see? First name and surname, please.
OK, let's reveal our 5 literary characters on film, and here they are. We have got A, B, C, D, and E. There we are, 5 literary characters portrayed on film. Now, Lucy and Nell, you've played best throughout the show so far, so you get to go first.
I think we're going to go for C, which we both think, so if it's wrong,
both
the blame
wrong.
is shared. We think that's Jean Brodie.
Jean Brodie, say Lucy and Nell, Jean Brodie. Now then, Gemma and James, you can talk us through the board if you like.
I know that the film A is Notes on a Scandal. I don't know the character. I know Holly Golightly is D. I know Cruella de Vil is E. And I think B is Scout Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird.
That's the one I'd go for then, B.
So let's have a punt. B, Scout Finch.
Scout Finch, say Gemma and James, Scout Finch. Lucy and Nell have said Jean Brodie. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said it. Absolutely right. 32. 32 for Jean Brodie. Gemma and James have said Scout Finch. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Scout Finch. Absolutely right. Well done, you've won the point. 3 for Scout Finch. That was a punt worth taking, which means Gemma and James, after one question, you are up 1-0. Richard.
Well played, Gemma. If any of your English pupils ever want to have a go at you, just show them a tape of that round. You took us through the board. Very, very nicely there. Very well played. You're right, it's from Notes on a Scandal. It's Kate Blanchett playing Sheba Hart. That's a pointless answer if anybody said that. It's a terrific answer. Scout Finch was from To Kill a Mockingbird, as you say. Jean Brodie from The Prime and Miss Jean Brodie. Now, if you'd said Holly Golightly, that's Holly Golightly in Breakfast at Tiffany's, it also would have won the point, actually. It only scores 15. And at the end there, that's Cruella de Vil, in 102 Dalmatians, that is. But that would have scored 56 points.
Thanks very much, Richard. Here comes your second question. Lucy and Nell, you have to win this question to stay in the game. Best of luck. It concerns UK cabinet posts. UK cabinet posts. Richard.
Yeah, we're now going to show you the 5 names of key UK cabinet posts, but we're only showing you the initials of that post. Can you tell us what these posts are, please?
OK, let's reveal our cabinet posts, and here they are. We have got S of S for E, F and R, A, C of the E, S of S for D, S of S for E and C, C, L of the H of L. I'll read those all one last time. S of S for E, F and R, A, C of the E, S of S for D, S of S for E and C, C, L of the H of L. Now then, Gemma and James, you go first this time.
He's going to do this.
Well,
Do you want to whisper to me? Do you want to tell me?
no, I'll go for it.
Okay.
Could we go L for the H of L, Leader of the House of Lords?
Leader of the House of Lords, say Gemma and James. Lucy and Nell, you can talk us through the board, if you like.
I know a few of them. I think C of the E is Chancellor of the Exchequer. S of the S for D, I think is Secretary of State for Defence. So I think we'll go for Secretary of State for Defence, but I think it's going to be too hard.
OK, you're going to say Secretary of State for Defence. So, Gemma and James, you have said Leader of the House of Lords. Let's see if that's right. If it is, let's see how many people said it. Leader of the House of Lords. Absolutely right. 35. 35 for Leader of the House of Lords. Lucy and Nell have gone for Secretary of State for Defence. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said that. It is right. For you to stay in the game, it has to be 35. Yes, it is. Very well done. 33. 33 for Secretary of State for Defence, which means after 2 questions, Lucy and Nell, you're back in the game. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that was a close one. You're right, C of the E is Chancellor of the Exchequer. That would have scored you 54 points. Now, the S of S for E and CC is the Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change. Would have scored you 2 points. And the top one is Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. 4 points that would have scored you. So the best answer there is Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change.
Thanks very much, Richard. So it comes down to a third question. Whoever wins this question goes through to the final and plays for that jackpot. Very best of luck to both pairs. Our third question concerns orchestra. Richard.
Yeah, we're now going to show you 5 clues relating to the practices and the instruments of Western concert orchestras. Can you give us the most obscure answer here? Very best of luck, both teams.
OK, let's reveal our 5 clues, and here they are. We've got the orchestra tunes to this note, the person who directs an orchestra, typically with a baton, the largest and lowest pitched of the string section of the orchestra sometimes called the kitchen department. The leader of the orchestra plays this instrument. I'll read those all one last time. The orchestra tunes to this note. The person who directs an orchestra, typically with a baton, the largest and lowest pitched of the string section, the section of orchestra sometimes called the kitchen department, and the leader of the orchestra plays this instrument. There we are, 5 clues to facts about the orchestra. Lucy and Nell go first.
Kitchen department's percussion. The kitchen department is percussion.
Percussion, the kitchen department, say Lucy and Nell. Percussion. Now then, Gemma and James, talk us through the board.
Well, the leader of the orchestra plays the violin. The conductor directs the orchestra, but I'm sure that'll be quite high. And I'm fairly sure that the orchestra tunes to A.
Do you think more people will know that the leader of the orchestra plays this instrument?
Let's go for leader of the orchestra. No. Yeah, let's go for A then.
OK.
Orchestra tunes to A, let's say.
The orchestra tunes to A, say Gemma and James. Lucy and Nell say the percussion section is known as the kitchen department. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. It's right. 38. Now then, Gemma and James have said that the orchestra tunes to A. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. This will let us know who's going through to the final and playing for that jackpot. A is absolutely right. Is it going to go lower than 38? Yes, it is. Very well done. 7. 7 for A. Very well done indeed, Gemma and James. After 3 questions, you are through to the final, 2-1.
Well done.
Very well played, guys. A very, very, very good decision there. You were a millisecond away from knocking yourself out of the jackpot round there, because if you'd said the leader of the orchestra plays the violin, you'd have been right, but it would have scored you 46 points. In fact, A is the only answer that would have beaten percussion, actually, because the other 2 would have scored more as well. The person who directs the orchestra is a conductor. Would have scored you 81. And the largest and lowest pitch of the string section?
Double bass.
Double bass, absolutely right. And that would have scored you 40. So very, very well played. That was very close.
Very well done. So our losing pair at the end of the head-to-head round is Lucy and Nell. Oh, that was tough. You knew that answer as well. I could hear you deliberating.
We didn't know whether to risk it.
I couldn't remember whether it was A or E, and I didn't want to risk it, and I wish I had now.
Sadly, they just pipped you there. But we'll see you again next time, Lucy and Nell. We'll look forward to that very much. Meantime, thanks very much for playing. But for Gemma and James, it's now time for our pointless final. Congratulations, Gemma and James. You fought off all the competition and you've won our coveted pointless trophy. Very well done. You now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £14,250. So last time you were on the show, you went out in round 1.
Yeah.
This time, right the way through to the final. How are you feeling?
I think that A is probably my favourite note now. I'm not sure I had one before, but now it's definitely A.
Very good. Well, very best of luck. The rules are very simple. To win the money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer. We haven't had any pointless answers on the show today. You only have to find one now, and you'll go home with that jackpot. Firstly, you've got to choose a category, and your choices are British thespians, sporting runners-up, father-son pop stars, European fiction, modern theatre.
They're all reasonable
They're
for
all
us.
reasonable. Would you lean towards thespians more
Yeah.
than theatre?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll go for thespians.
British thespians. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Ian McKellen films as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any feature film made for general cinema release for which Ian McKellen has received an acting credit prior to May 2012, please. No short films, TV films, documentaries, that sort of thing, but voice performances do count. Very, very best of luck. It's a big jackpot.
OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers, and all you need to win that £14,250 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
OK, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Obvious ones. X-Men, X-Men 2, Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, I've got Walter, which was one of the first ones on Channel 4. He's definitely in that.
Okay. What about any films where he's been like Shakespeare? I know he's in Richard III.
Richard III,
Richard
okay.
III,
Walter,
because
Richard III.
I can't think of any that are sort of more thespian Shakespeare. Has he done any more Shakespeare? Has he done Macbeth?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of things I've sort of seen him in where he's been kind of like just sort of obscurely popped up, and you think, oh, Ian McKellen's in that.
I know he's in Richard III. I know he's done Walter.
Yeah.
We've got 30 seconds. There's obviously the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He's in all the X-Men films. Is that X-Men 2? Just go
Yeah,
for
X-Men 2, do you think, for the last one?
I'm just annoyed we haven't got another better one than that, really.
Yeah.
But my mind has gone totally blank.
Ian McKellen.
10 seconds left.
His name will go on our graves. I think we'll have to go X-Men 2, Walter,
Yeah.
and...
Okay. Richard III second.
Yeah.
OK, now, there we are. Your time is up. We were looking for Ian McKellen films. I now need your 3 answers. What are you going to give me?
We're not sort of massively strong on Ian McKellen. What we've got is X-Men 2.
X-Men 2.
Richard III.
Richard III.
And Walter.
And Walter. Now,
Yeah.
of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Walter, I think, yeah.
Walter, we'll put that last. Which is your least likely?
X-Men, because
X-Men 2.
everyone knows them.
OK, let's put them up on the board in that order, and here they are. We've got X-Men 2, Richard III, and Walter. So we're looking for Ian McKellen films. Your first answer, the one you thought was probably least likely to be pointless, is X-Men 2. Remember, you only have to find one pointless answer to win that jackpot of £14,250. Massive jackpot, isn't it?
Don't.
Let's see. Is X-Men 2 right? How many people said it? It's right. OK, down it goes. If this goes all the way down to 0, you will leave here with £14,250. It's still going down into the teens, into the single figures. 6 is where it stops. Wow. I mean, even allowing for the fact that you very cleverly put in X-Men 2 instead of X-Men, that's still very low. 6.
We watch the show. We know.
Clever.
2 at the end.
I like what you've done there. Unfortunately, though, it's not a pointless answer, which means you only have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. Now, what would you do with £14,250?
I haven't really come to terms with the idea that we're even here, so...
We're just happy with the trophy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We can't believe we get 2. One in the bedroom, one in the living room.
OK, well, we're looking for Ian McKellen films. Let's hope nobody said your next answer, Richard III. This has to be right, obviously, then it has to be pointless if you're going to win that jackpot of £14,250. Let's see. Is it right? How many people said it? Richard III. Absolutely right. X-Men 2 was correct and took us all the way down to 6. Richard III taking us down through the 20s, into the teens, down into single figures. If this goes all the way down, 3. Three, appropriately, for Richard III, which means you only have 1 more chance to win today's jackpot. This sounds like a brilliant answer. Now, where did Walter come from, James?
I remember as a child reading the top 10 of everything, and it had a list of the programmes that were broadcast, the first 10 programmes broadcast on Channel 4 in 1982. And Walter was the film that was on that evening, the film on 4. Ian McKellen playing, I believe, a handicapped man. If it has all just been a complete kind of fantasy in my head, we'll just have to cope with that collectively.
That's why I'm with him.
Wow, but these are the sorts of recollections that win pointless
Did I sound
answers.
really cool saying that?
A little bit. It's quite impressive. OK, well, we're looking for Ian McKellen films. Your third and final answer, the one you thought was most likely to be pointless, was Walter.
Maybe not even real.
This was your most confident shot at that jackpot of £14,250. It has to be pointless. If you're going to win it, let's find out. Walter, is it right? How many people said it? Best of luck. Oh, no. Oh, bad luck. Unfortunately, we will discover why shortly, but that apparently is an incorrect answer, which means I'm afraid you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid you don't leave with that jackpot, but you do get to take home our pointless trophy. So very, very well done for that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You took us through Walter very nicely as well. It was one of the first things ever shown on Channel 4. Ian McKellen is in it. Stephen Frears directed it from 1982. But the clue is in the fact that it was on the first night of Channel 4. It's not a feature film. It was made for television, made for Channel 4. So not released in the cinema. If it makes you feel any better, one of our 100 people made the same mistake. So even if it had been a feature film,
that's all right, then.
you wouldn't have won the cash. Phew. Let's take a look at some of the pointless answers that were up there, though. You played so terrifically throughout. I'm so sorry about that. Alfred the Great, he was in Displaced from 2006. He stars with Nick Nolte in I'll Do Anything. Restoration, The Ballad of Little Joe, the 1993 Western. Plays a Jewish historian in The Keep. The Magic Roundabout plays the voice of Zebedee in that. The Shadow, where he plays an atomic scientist, and he plays a psychotherapist in Xena. Other pointless answers: A Touch of Love, Amy Foster, 18, Never Was, and The Promise. Very well done if you said any of those. You played so terrifically today, and I hope all your students are watching. I'm very, very proud. Sorry about the money, but, you know, you've been wonderful. It's lovely to meet you as well.
It's been grand. Thank you.
But well done you, though. You've done absolutely brilliantly. And unfortunately, I'm afraid we do have to say goodbye to you now. But Gemma and James, fantastic contestants. A really great show. Thanks so much for playing. Well, Gemma and James didn't win our jackpot today, which means it rolls over onto the next show when we will be playing for £15,250. It's almost getting to be one of our biggest jackpots ever. Join us next time, see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.